Hello, guys. We're gonna go ahead and start. I still see a few more people trying to join. I'll be ready to approve you in on the go. Not to waste any further time. Welcome to our general meeting for the month of March. My name is Vidad. I want to give you all a warm welcome to this meeting. I hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday. And I want to also use this opportunity, and to those of you who celebrate, I want to wish you a happy Easter to you and your families as well. Um, Here is what we're going to be discussing today. We want to discuss the following subjects. As usual, we're going to have a safety subjects for the meeting today. That's going to be fatigue management. We're gonna talk about causes. We're going to talk about effects. We're going to discuss the signs, how you recognize when you're fatigued, and how do you counter it. Most importantly, we're going to discuss dispatch settings and how you can utilize your settings to counter this issue. Um, Apart from that, we're going to take a look at the business situation for the month of March. We're going to check on the statistics, what the numbers say. We're going to discuss dispatch settings. And then we're going to proceed to discuss BHX rewards program. I feel like a lot of people out there just don't know what this program is and how you can benefit from it. So I'll give you a look, I'll give you a walkthrough and show you how this actually works. We'll have some major updates to that program in the near future. We're going to discuss that as well. We'll have a quiz during the session just to have a small test of understanding of the subjects we discussed, and for you guys to have fun as well. And at the end, as usual, we're going to have a Q&A opportunity for any of you to ask any questions regarding the subjects that we discussed, or perhaps something else that you feel you want to ask about. So let me share my screen and presentation with you guys. So I believe you can see my screen right now. So before we go forward, I just want to remind you all of our housekeeping rules, as we call them. So rule number one, of course, keep yourself muted during the presentation so that everyone else can hear the content that we're presenting. During the Q&A and the moments of your participation, control your background noise so that others can hear you properly. At the same time, position yourself and the camera well so that we can see you. Be an active listener. Follow the content. These subjects bring value, and in order to extract the most value out of this, maintain high focus and do not allow any distractions or multitask while participating in this session. Dress appropriately if you want to visually participate. Do not eat or drink during the session. And last and most important, if you guys are driving, if any of you are driving right now, I would ask you to leave the session. We will provide recorded replay of this meeting, and you will be able to watch it later. Driving and watching is not good for your safety overall, so I would rather have you focus on driving. So as I said, the safety subject for our meeting today is fatigue management. We're going to discuss this matter to a high detail, as we always cover these safety subjects. It's about staying safe by staying alert. Now, fatigue management is paramount for drivers as it directly impacts their safety, safety of others on the road, and the success of the operations. Expedite drivers are tasked with transporting goods over long distances, and that sometimes comes with challenging deadlines or appointments, as we like to call them. However, driving while fatigued significantly impairs cognitive functions, including decision-making abilities, and this can lead to an increased risk of accidents, injuries, and even fatalities. Moreover, fatigue-related incidents can result in very costly consequences to the driver and company both. So by prioritizing fatigue management, Expedite drivers can safeguard their well-being, protect the lives of others, uphold professional standards, and ensure efficiency and profitability of their operations. We're going to start this subject by checking the causes of fatigue. Now, I believe most of what we're going to talk about today are things that you guys know. The point is to raise awareness to these issues and make sure that we all keep this on our priority list as we do our daily work. So, what are the causes of fatigue? The most common causes of fatigue are lack of adequate sleep, long hours of operation, poor diet and dehydration, and monotonous roads. Now, we're going to go ahead and discuss briefly each one of these. So, first of all, lack of adequate sleep stands as a most prominent cause of fatigue among drivers, especially those working in expedite industry who often face demanding schedules and long hours behind the wheel. Insufficient sleep disrupts body's natural circadian rhythms, leading to drowsiness, reduced alertness, impaired cognitive function, as we mentioned earlier. Drivers in particular may struggle to obtain recommended 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep due to the pressures of meeting deadlines and adhering to tight delivery schedules. Now, there's one thing I want to say about this, and we're going to come to milestone dispatch settings later on to discuss how you can get around this issue easily. When it comes to BHX, our customers and the deadlines, if you guys ever come to this point of feeling tired and you feel that you're not able to push through, please stop. All you got to do is give a call to the company. As we said many times before, BHX is 24/7. Anytime you call, someone is going to be in. Someone is always in. Someone is going to respond to that call, explain them the situation. And when we go to our customer, we understand that there may be operational consequence to the delay, to the lateness. But at the same time, we always tell people safety comes first. We can't compromise safety over any deadline or over anything operational wise. So if you feel fatigued to the point that you can't go forward, and we're going to discuss the signs that you can use to recognize this, please give us a call and we'll figure out alternative plan for you to deliver your load while not compromising your safety. Chronic sleep deprivation, if this is something that's continued, if this is something reoccurring, not only compromises your own safety, it also poses risks to people around you on the road. Addressing this issue requires a proactive approach to prioritizing rest and ensuring sufficient sleep opportunities, thereby mitigating the risks associated with fatigue-related incidents on the road. So one thing to keep in mind, and this is something I want to also touch upon later on when we come to milestone dispatch settings, it's important that you guys form your own rest plan. You manage your sleep hours, you manage service hours, and everything else that comes with it. Now, the second thing is exactly about this, long hours of operation. Now, keep in mind, by this point, I do not only refer to the time you spend in transit on the load while driving. I also talk about the time you spend in service, bidding on loads, waiting for a load, communicating with dispatch, perhaps relocating empty, managing your own obligations and needs while you're out there on the road. Bottom line, by this, I refer to the time that you spend by staying awake, and the longer you're awake, your readiness level, your load preferences, and perhaps service status need to be amended. I'll give you a guide on that when we come to the milestone shortly. The next point here, poor diet and hydration contribute significantly to driver fatigue. It affects you on both physical and cognitive performance on the road. Drivers often face challenges in maintaining healthy habits on the road because of the nature of this job. And as we said, long hours are one example. The other thing is reliance on fast food or convenience snacks. Now, consuming these high-fat, high-sugar foods not only fails to provide sustained energy, but can also lead to energy crashes and feeling of lethargy. Additionally, inadequate hydration exacerbates fatigue by impairing concentration and reaction times. And then we got dehydration in the story as well. Dehydration can occur quickly and easily, especially in warm and hot climates that we're looking ahead with the approach of summer. And this further compromises your alertness, It increases the risk of accidents. So prioritizing balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and staying adequately hydrated are essential strategies for drivers to combat fatigue and maintain optimal performance behind the wheel. Another thing I discovered while researching this subject, and this is an interesting one, I didn't expect this to be there, but it's a very good point. Monotonous roads, it's about monotony. So they pose significant challenge to drivers' alertness and engagement, and thus, furthermore, it contributes to the fatigue among drivers. Now, what does it mean in context of driving? Monotony typically refers to long stretches of road that offer little variation in terms of scenery or driving conditions. And this results in decreased mental engagement and increased susceptibility to fatigue. Now, imagine you're driving through New Mexico, through a large desert area. The highway is all the way straight. There is nothing new to see around you. And this poses the challenge of you not staying at the highest of your alert level. You kind of get into that mental state of everything remaining static around you, and this pretty much increases that mental fatigue that you face when you're in such environment. I'm gonna give you some valuable points or techniques how you can counter this. Before we just get there, I want to mention one more thing. Extended periods of driving on such highways or routes with little variation in scenery can lead to a decrease in mental stimulation as well. So as a result, you guys may experience decline in attention and vigilance, and you may be more susceptible to fatigue-related lapses in concentration. Now, how you can counter this? The effects of monotony can be countered by implementing strategies such as taking regular breaks, engaging in active driving techniques, and incorporating mentally stimulating activities during rest stops to maintain alertness and attentiveness throughout your journey. Now, what are the examples of active driving techniques, you might want to ask? So, number one, mindful observation. You're driving on this straight highway in New Mexico and there's nothing to see around you. You observe the traffic. You actively observe your surrounding traffic. You scan for potentially dangerous people. You want to keep safe distance from them. You monitor road conditions, and this helps to maintain your focus, and prevents your mind from going into random subjects and slipping away from what should be your number one focus on the road. So you got to always identify something that will occupy your focus while you're on the road. Number two, variance in speed and following distance. Avoid driving at a constant speed, autopilot. So try to always maintain safe distance. Try to challenge yourself to adjust your speed to the changing speed limits. This will also put you in this mode of active following and action required as you're transiting on your load. It's gonna keep your focus high, and you will not fail in this lethargy of being in such environment. Third thing, plan rest stops. Now, why is this important? Obviously, you get to rest, you get to refresh yourself. That's fine, but there's one more thing about it. It keeps your focus high on your route progress, because it forces you to plan your trip and select certain locations where you want to take your break. So your mind is actively tracking the route. It's actively observing your progress on this route, and it's actively alerting you where to take an exit or a turn in order to make it to this location. So this is a fun way of managing your route, not only for expedite drivers. Whoever is going on a road trip, they utilize this strategy in order to maintain focus and have fun as well. Now let's talk about effects of fatigue on your performance. So some of the most common effects that we see is that it affects you by reducing your reaction time, causes you to make impaired decisions, decreases your situational awareness, and of course there is a increased risk of accident that comes with it. Now, let's discuss each of these one by one a little bit. So reduced reaction time is a critical consequence of fatigue because it simply impairs cognitive function, slowing down the brain's processing speed, and it diminishes your ability to recognize and respond to any danger or a hazard around you swiftly or fast enough to make the right reaction or decision to avoid it. Delay in reaction time compromises your ability to brake, to steer, to take evasive action effectively, and it makes it more challenging for you to avoid collision or mitigate the severity of an accident if it comes down to an accident, of course. As a result, even a momentary lapse in reaction time due to fatigue can have severe consequences, highlighting the importance of prioritizing rest and fatigue management strategies to maintain optimal alertness and responsiveness while driving. Now, second point here is impaired decision making, something that we briefly mentioned before. It's a significant consequence of fatigue. It poses serious risks to your safety. You guys in this state of mind, you experience cognitive impairments that hinder your ability to assess the situation accurately, and you can't make sound judgments because of this. This can lead to errors in judgment, such as misjudging distances, underestimating risks, or making poor driving choices. Fatigue-induced decision-making deficits compromise the driver's ability to anticipate and react to potential hazards effectively, increasing the likelihood of accidents. Therefore, recognizing the impact of fatigue on your decision-making abilities is crucial in the subject of promoting safe driving practices. Now, the third point here talks about decreased awareness. What does happen here? So fatigue dulls the senses and diminishes alertness. It leads to reduced awareness of potential hazards, road conditions, the traffic around you. As a result, fatigued driver fails to notice important cues such as traffic signs, pedestrians, vehicle in your vicinity or in your way, and further increases the risk of accidents. Moreover, decreased awareness heightens the likelihood of missing critical changes in road conditions or unexpected events, further compromising safety on the road. Therefore, combating fatigue and maintaining optimal awareness are essential for ensuring drivers remain vigilant and responsive to their environment, minimizing the risk of accidents, and promoting overall road safety. Now, increased risk of accidents, as you can tell, everything that we discussed, every one of these subjects is leading to this increase. So when it comes to the prism of fatigue, it's a serious concern as drowsy driving significantly impairs abilities to operate vehicle safely. So fatigue diminishes your cognitive functions, including reaction time, decision making, awareness, makes you more susceptible to errors and lapses in your judgment on the road. And according to studies that have shown that fatigue driving can be as dangerous as driving under the influence of alcohol, or with the risk of accidents escalating substantially during periods of prolonged wakefulness or inadequate sleep. Furthermore, fatigue-related accidents often result in severe outcomes, including injuries, fatalities, extensive property damage. So recognizing the dangers of driving in this state of mind is very crucial, and deploying certain strategies to counter this issue is very, very important. The next thing I want to discuss, obviously, I want to give you guys statistics. I always give you numbers to bring the subject closer to you. When it comes to US, there's been over 100,000 crashes or collisions in the traffic that were connected with fatigue driving. 60% of commercial drivers in these accidents admitted that they were feeling somewhat drowsy at the time of the accident. So again, this is how significant, how big, how important this is. The numbers are there to prove this case. So we need to fully deploy these strategies and make sure we're efficiently countering this problem. We don't want to be a part of this stats. We don't want to be a part of these numbers. As you can see, 37% of these reported falling completely asleep behind the wheels, And only 1 in 5 drivers, even though, like I said, remember what I said earlier, I said most of the people know this concept. They know these things. We're not talking about something completely new. We're not discussing new invention. These are the things that everyone knows, but having the ability to recognize this in a timely manner and know when to stop, know what to deploy, what decision to make, this is critical. Only 1 in 5 drivers, according to National Safety Council, recognized drowsiness and pulled over to rest when feeling tired. This was from their most recent poll they run with commercial drivers in 2023. And here is what we want to deploy. Here is what we want to put most of our focus on. Knowing when to stop. This is the crucial part about this problem and how to resolve it. So despite being aware of the common signs of fatigue, many drivers still choose to continue driving. So some of these can be frequent blinking or difficulty of staying focused, keeping your eyes open, drifting out of lane. We sometimes receive calls from traffic saying, hey, BHX, I see your logo on the van. There's your number. There's your driver. I just recorded. He's drifting left and right. It's not always fatigue. Sometimes we hear reports of drivers using other devices or doing something else that causes this. But please, maintain your focus. Don't allow any distraction. Don't do other things that hinder your ability of maintaining focus on the road and traffic. Daydreaming or zoning out, another thing. I had one driver in November. This happened. He zoned out in a pretty dark road, and there was one particular curve where he didn't notice, he didn't react timely, so he slided off the road. Fortunately, no injuries, no significant damage either. He was driving at a low speed, but he zoned out and he slipped off the road. Luckily, it was all a flat surface, so we didn't have major issues getting out of that situation. And then, of course, feeling irritable or restless. Now, nothing can stand above your safety, guys. Some drivers feel compelled and obligated to meet that tight deadlines, adhere to schedules, prioritize productivity above safety. We respect that. We have mad respect for every one of our drivers who shows hard work during their in-service times. But please keep this in mind. Nothing can stand above your safety. Additionally, there might be this sense of invincibility or overconfidence among drivers where it leads them to believe that they can handle driving while fatigued without consequences. Maybe, but that's the risk you don't want to take. You don't want to take that risk. There's no need for it. There's no value in it. There is also this sense of underestimation of the severity of the fatigue and this state of mind. And due to this, we don't rationalize the decisions to stop versus continue driving, and we convince ourselves that we can push through despite feeling tired. Please do yourself a favor. Don't do this. Don't do this. I want to bring the subject closer to our practice and how we incorporate this in our operations. So, of course, we're gonna look at milestone and dispatch settings. So I'm gonna go step by step with you guys here. So when you go into milestone, you have this main menu, and in the top right section, you have dispatch settings. This is the heart of your operation with BHX every day, right? So once you go there, I wanna discuss two scenarios. In service, when you don't have a load and you're waiting for one, versus when you're on the load. So when you're in service, you're waiting for a load, you want to focus on this screen right here. There is a circled area that says distance settings. You got two options here. You have maximum load distance, you have maximum direct delivery. Now I'm going to explain what each of these mean. I sometimes feel like that there is a bit of misunderstanding among some of our drivers as to how these settings can help. So maximum load distance. If you put a value in this field, we're only going to focus on loads that have a total mileage under what you specify in this field. And we're only going to focus on those loads. Anything that exceeds this limit is going to come to you as a self-dispatch. You're going to be able to either bid or completely decline that load opportunity. in some situations, I see, people put, for example, 500 miles, but there is a load 530. It comes to their phone. They decide if this is an extra that they can or cannot take. So you would have those loads come to your phone and be offered through self-dispatch mode. Otherwise, if you're using auto dispatch, we will of course bid on states that you have set to green and loads that are within this limit that you specified. The other thing here is how many miles you can go direct before needing a rest. Now, the highest number is 700 miles. You cannot put anything higher than that. You can put lower. Now, what does this mean? It doesn't mean that we're only focusing on loads that are up to 700 miles. You can still get a 1,000 mile load, but the way how we give quote to the customer, the way how we give the transit time, total transit time, is influenced by this value. So if you put 700 miles here, that means the quote that we're going to give to the customer is going to state that the driver can drive that equals probably 13 hours of driving, and then we're going to add 6 hours of sleep, and then you're going to do the remaining 300 miles, which is 5 to 6 hours. So that's the total that we're going to go to the customer with. We're going to enforce the rest time into the quote. A lot of customers in expedite industry require teams, they require direct deliveries. Not everyone can provide that. And we want to make sure that our quotes take into account the safety standards that we promote. So we fight for this hard every time we go in with a quote, with a bid. People sometimes ask, can you do shorter transit time? We like to stay with the option that there is some buffer time provided. Now, in some situations, you guys say, we want a load taking us home. We got to be home urgently. I'll do more than 700 miles if necessary. Again, not something that I would advise you to do. Do not compromise your safety. Stay within these limits. And most importantly, guys, update these settings throughout the day. Your readiness level at 8 a.m. versus 4 p.m. is not same. It's different. So you want to make sure during the day that you actively update this so that when you get a load at 4 p.m., we don't book something insane that you're not ready for. Another thing to focus on is when you're on a load, you have this screen. This is the first thing you will see in dispatch settings. It's about the service status. So you guys have three options here. You're either out of service, available now, or available later. Now, if you get a load, you're gonna have a ready time matched with your delivery time. And this means that if your load is scheduled to deliver tomorrow morning at 8, you're automatically gonna be ready at 8 unless you come ahead to us and say, hey, look, I can't be ready at 8. I'm gonna need more time to rest. And as much as we guys try to get to know you as good as possible, we cannot always predict what your fitness level is like at different times of the day. This is why we created these settings. This is why we developed this system. So it's very crucial that you go in there when you have a load. If you're not ready after delivery, you push this time. You're still available for a load in advance. You just push the delivery time to 12, 1, 2, doesn't matter. You determine. If you're not sure, if there is an obligation after the load that awaits you, something that you got to finish before you can move on with the loads. If you're not sure how much of rest you're going to need, you select the option to be out of service, and you're still going to complete your load. You still have access to milestone. Nothing changes. You're still employed with BHX. One of you asked me a couple of weeks ago, if I choose out of service, does that mean I no longer work with BHX? No, of course not. This just means that we're not bidding in advance, or you're not getting load offers in advance. This just means that you're out, you need some time out. Once you're ready, you easily go in the same way, you amend your status, you're back. So it's important that we utilize these settings as efficiently as possible. This will help dispatch. It's going to help you to select the appropriate loads, transit times that match your fit levels. If you get tired in transit while on a load, always make sure to give us a call. Like I said, we're 24/7. Someone is always in. whatever the complexity of the situation is, we're going to find a way to talk to the customer and figure alternative plan out for you guys. So most importantly, please do not hide this issue. Do not push yourself beyond the limits, and communicate with us about this. Now, just to briefly recap the whole fatigue subject. So as we said, make sure to take sufficient sleep, plan out your sleep schedule during the week, and put it into the mix with your working habits. Take breaks, take regular breaks, deploy active driving techniques in order to keep your high focus on point. Prioritize healthy lifestyle choices. There is a lot of commercial driver diets and nutritional programs online. Have a look through them, see how they can benefit you, and perhaps you can start gradually enforcing some of these. And of course, effective time management, something that you can do through milestones dispatch settings, and you can set appropriate times when you're ready for a load and what kind of load you're ready for. That's that for fatigue. I want to see if my good brother Munir is with us. I believe he is. We're going to discuss March business outlook.
Hey everyone, I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm in the car right now driving. I'm on your side. You can. I'm on your side right now, but I don't see anywhere to stop right now. So Vedo, if you can cover this, do me a favor. I'm really sorry for this, guys. I'm professional for me, but still, I just wanted to join at least for a bit, just to say hi, and Vedo will cover the rest. Thank you, Vedo.
Absolutely. So regarding March, the loads, the business volume that we were experiencing, as we said through many individual phone calls that we had with you guys throughout the month, the situation is not perfect. We're still swimming through challenging waters of dropping rates and decreased load volume across the country. Speaking about the numbers, and these numbers may not exactly give you the full picture on individual basis, but this is what it looks like on company level. So during March, we booked a total of 920 loads until now. This is the last day, so this number may still grow a little bit, but this is what we got. The bid-win ratio, this is the percentage of loads that we won versus the number of quotes that we sent. As you can see, we're under 10%. That means if we placed 10,000 bids, we won less than 1,000 loads. This is exactly what it means, guys. So that's how difficult it is. Average monthly driver pay $6,600. This takes into account all of you. And I know that some of you had weeks where you entered service on the last day or Thursday, Friday, something like that, second half of the week, or perhaps had tight restrictions around the home and things like that. But looking at the active, top 20, top 30 of our fleet, we're talking about much higher numbers. And there is something that contributes to these increased performance numbers from our top earning drivers. This is what we discussed. This is the image we discussed last time. It's about opening and utilizing, making the most out of your dispatch settings. I've taken this out of one of our top 5 earning drivers just to show you. So this driver is keeping most of the states on green. Now I understand not everyone has same preferences. Not everyone wants to go to the same places, Canada particularly, or up north. But there is many instances, guys, where you put a lot of states in yellow and self-dispatch, and then when we go back to analyze the performance, we see that the bids are not being placed. So if you want to go to a certain state, if there is no issue with you going to that state, market green, let us do the work. If you're not in position to actively monitor the bid board, let us do the work. Let us optimize your earning potentials. If that state is a definite no-go for you, you can mark it red, and that's going to save us time and effort in the long run. Otherwise, the situation right now dictates that we need to open up ourselves to as many opportunities as possible. It's not the best time for expedite industry, and we need to recognize that every day, and we need to fight hard to make our goals come true. Moving forward, I want to also discuss the driver rewards program. I believe there isn't a lot of awareness among all of you about what this program is and how you can benefit through this program. So I just want to say that this is the program that's designed to recognize and reward drivers with outstanding performance and cooperation. We have a couple of accomplishments or goals that you can meet in order to earn program points. And then these points can be redeemed into items. There is a whole variety of items in our catalog. We're going to have a look into that in a moment. They are basically exchanged for different types of items, and different types of items have different cost in terms of points. So here are the examples of goals that you can make in order to earn these points. So we have on-time performance. There is a specific goal outlined over there. If you guys are performing at 100%, you get 2,000 program points. Now, 100%, we discussed this back in January as far as on-time performance goes. This is all about communication. If there is a reasonable issue preventing you from meeting your original appointment, all it takes is to give us a call, report this to us, and then we'll figure out the alternative ETA. If there is any further delay, if there is something that forces us to stop again, all it takes is a proper communication. Lack of communication, unreasonable sources of lateness, these will count against your on-time performance, and they will distance you from getting these 2,000 points. Another thing, attending general or safety meetings such as this one. So all those of you who attended today will get 1,000 points credited to your account. Safety score. Safety is a system that we're actively developing. We will soon have a full integration into Milestone. Some of you may remember that we used a different system in the past. We want to give better user experience on your end when it comes to these numbers and performance. So you're going to have this. You're going to have this on your screens very soon. There will be a certain score that we enforce, as you guys know from orientation. We're looking at number of violations versus the miles driven in a month. So if you're averaging more than 2 violations per 1,000 miles, your score is not satisfying, and you're not getting the 2,000 points. So we're gonna circle on safety eventually in one of our next sessions and discuss that into a bigger detail. Going the extra mile, 1,000 points. This is for those situations when we come to you guys and we ask, we have a situation, we need the help to recover a load and save company's reputation. We understand in some situations, in some circumstances, you guys cannot step out of your obligation and help out, and that's understandable. But if you do, if there is a chance for you to help us out and come into service and help us recover a load, these are the points. This is the reward for that type of situation. Now, we are planning to add a lot more things to this list as we develop different types of milestones and accomplishments. And this is a program that we want to bring to your screens ASAP. Now, I want to show you guys what this program really looks like. So all of you have received an email from BHX Driver titled with BHX Driver Rewards Program, containing your username, your generic initial password, which you can, of course, change once you go in. Once you go into the website, you're going to see this screen. You're going to see your balance in the top right corner, how many points you got to spend. There is a catalog right next to it. And once you click on the catalog, you can see what kind of items there are. You can see your orders on this page. You can see what the goals of the program are and how many points each goal can bring you. You can manage your account and passwords on the left side as well. And once you get into catalog, you can pretty much search by variety of different filters. You can look at the value in terms of points and filter out items based on their cost. You can look at the item type. There is a lot of them. You can look at the brand names. You can use advanced search for custom criteria, or you can simply go to show all and see all of the items. I'm going to do one thing here. I want to give you guys a look of this page live instead of these images. So this is what we got. These are the points up here. And this is the catalog right here. So once you go in here, you can pretty much see all of these items. There is a lot of stuff. There is a lot of different tools, kitchen supplies, electronic devices, and much, much more. So, you know, give yourself an opportunity to dive into this. See, I believe by now most of you have some balance accumulated. So check it out. See if there is something for you right here to redeem. Many of you have told us in the past that you found some interesting stuff in here. So give it a chance, scroll and see if there is something that can benefit you. As for the future of this program, we do want to integrate this with Milestone in the coming weeks or months. We'll see how long that takes with other priorities that we have in order to make your access much, much easier. We also want to integrate BHX's merchandise shop with this program. You guys all received messages, phone calls, and emails from us in the last 2 weeks about merchandise. This is a new thing that we're doing. We had a promotion for all staff and drivers with the launch of this shop. So all those of you who ordered will be getting your items in the near future. Also, we want to add, as I said, more potential accomplishments to the list to earn the points for. And we also want to look for ways to add more items into the catalog beyond what's there and what's in our shop. We want to look into ways of getting more items there and make it more popular and more fun to use for you guys. And we're pretty much at the Q&A session, but before we do that, I do want to give you guys what I promised. I want to give you a brief quiz on the subject we discussed. So I'm going to launch that here in a moment. So we're going to have 3 questions. We're going to give a minute to each, and you guys can just select the option that you think is the right answer. So on your screens, you should be able to see the first question right now. So I'm going to give it a minute here so you guys can answer. The question is, which of the following events can earn you reward points? So we got 3 options. We got updating dispatch settings. Number 2, maintaining maximum efficiency through BHX's on time, and going in service every day in the morning. Seven responses in, last 10 seconds. Okay, so we got the results in. 8 responses, 7 of you said maintaining maximum efficiency through BHX's on-time and safety programs. 1 of you said updating dispatch settings. Again, dispatch settings is something that you should do in order to filter out the right loads for yourself. Doesn't have much to do with the program itself. So program, one instance on this list in this question was on-time and safety. Scoring high in these is going to get you these rewards. Now, let's go to the second question. Now, our second question, which of the following is the solution if you're fatigued while on a load? Number 1, stop driving, turn off the phone and sleep. Number 2, call BHX's dispatch, advise of situation and make a plan. And number 3, ignore fatigue, continue driving and deliver per your schedule. Five responses in so far. Easy one, easy one. Okay, we're at 7 so far, so pretty identical numbers to the previous question. So obviously the right answer here is call BHX's dispatch, advise of the situation, and see with dispatcher and customer how we can proceed and what's the alternative plan we can follow to deliver the load safely. Of course, you will not just stop driving, turn off to sleep, and not communicate the issue. And also, you will not ignore your fatigue and continue driving as if nothing happened. These are not the solutions for you to take. Give us a call. As I said, we're 24/7, and we'll figure out the right solution for you. And we got a third one here. Let me just end this one. And we got a third one here saying, which of the following is not an active driving technique? Number one, plan rest stops ahead. Number two, listen to the podcast. Number three, active observation of your surroundings and traffic. Couple of seconds more. More responses this time. We're trending in a good direction. Okay, so we got 8 responses in right now. So which of the following is not an active driving technique? The answer is listening to the podcast, obviously. I've come across some sources that suggested this. No, don't do this. If you're driving, don't listen to any podcast, any meeting or something. You had Munir's example a couple of minutes ago. Do not allow external distraction to happen while you're on the road. That's not a good thing to do. Obviously, the other two options, planning rest stops ahead, this is an active driving technique that we discussed. Active observations of your surroundings and traffic to maintain high level focus when you're driving a non-stimulating static scenery is helpful as well as an active driving technique. So that's that as far as the quiz goes. So now we're coming to the fun part of our session, Q&A. Anything you like to ask about any of the subjects we discussed today, or perhaps anything else, this is your time to shine. Just make sure, guys, to unmute yourself if you're muted, so that we can hear you.
Good morning, everyone. Who's got the first question? Come on. Vedo, how do I make $5,000 a week as a driver?
You generate generational wealth by opening as many green states as possible and letting Vedo and other Vedos in the office do the work for you.
Yeah, I just want to comment on that. You know, we keep referencing green versus yellow states. We built the app with the goal of giving you guys the ability and the freedom to control your own dispatch settings. And, you know, we love that you guys are able to do that. The reason we keep going back to sort of criticizing the yellow is because every day we see so many loads expire. We actually just built this data into our report, and on Friday, there were 901 loads for us to bid on, meaning there were 901 loads available close to where our drivers were. And 465 of them expired, which means more than half of the loads that were available, they were offered to you guys because they were yellow, and you guys did not decline or bid on them. So more than half of all opportunities we let expire. Obviously, if those loads were green, we would have either bid or we would have declined if we didn't think it was a good opportunity. You know, so it's just a lot of times we see drivers put something yellow and then they don't even look at their phone. You know, we call them and say, hey, did you see this load that was offered? And they go, no, I didn't even notice. And that's a dangerous thing because at the end of the day, guys, it's a numbers game. You know, numbers game means the more bids we put in, the more loads we're gonna book. If we put in 10 bids for you, we can expect about 1 load. If we put in 20 bids, then we can expect to book 2 loads, right? And that's sort of the numbers game part of it. And you know, when we see so many loads going to that expired, we're missing opportunities that we're not responding to at all.
Just want to provide a little bit of information on top of what Aldin said. In the last month, there were 27 loads, 27,000 loads imported into our system. So we placed bid on 10,000 of those. So there was 17,000 bids that nobody placed a bid on, neither us or drivers. That's a vast pool of loads that we're missing. We need to figure out a different strategy on that.
Right.
Can I come in?
Yeah.
Sure.
I would like to know, sometimes most of those loads, they go to areas. There are some of those loads who go to areas whereby you can go there to drop a load, then you spend 2 days there, or you have to drive, let's say 8 hours to move to another very active area that you can get a load.
Yeah, so in that case, Fu, you would put it red. If you don't want to go to Washington, if you don't want to go to California, put it red. When you put it yellow and there's loads being offered to you and you never want to accept them, you know, that's misuse of the app. If there's an area you don't want to go to because you believe that for you it's not, you know, profitable, then you just put it red and we don't send you those at all.
You load me, it's okay. Let me check the paperwork. Okay. You know how much printing they're closing once you have, you know?
Someone is on site and on the meeting, so we're gonna mute and continue. Looks like someone's paperwork was being checked. More questions, guys. Let's go. Naim here with a question of his own. Let's go.
Yeah, can you tell me what is the most day some drivers waiting in one area? What is the record?
The most amount of days drivers wait in an area?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Are you trying to break the record?
Yeah, I think maybe I can break it.
I think drivers who had open maps, who had, you know, who wanted to work, Vedo, Munir, you guys have been in ops more than I have lately, but I want to say maybe 4 days is probably about the most amount of waiting, because at that point, we often offer to pay for some relocation and move somebody somewhere else. Now, we have had drivers wait for 7, 8 days, but that's because they go to Florida and they put 3 states yellow and they put everything else red, and they put their phone in a safety box and lock it away and never look at any offers that are sent to them. So of course, you know, they're stuck waiting for a long time. Or other scenarios, you know, we have had drivers go to Texas and put rate per mile preference at $1. And Texas is an area where everyone else is bidding 60 cents or 65 cents. You know, so of course that guy gets stuck in Texas. So, you know, when drivers limit themselves too much, that waiting can happen more than 3, 4 days. Otherwise, when their settings are pretty flexible and open, I don't remember last time I've seen someone, you know, wait more than 3 or 4 days. Now, just it's related to that. One thing we did build recently is that PIT discounts, which aims to prevent you from having those cases where you're waiting for a super long time. What the PIT discount does is after 4 hours of waiting inside of the prime time, the prices begin to discount a few, cents at a time. So instead of us bidding $1, we drop our prices to 98 cents after just 4 hours of you waiting inside of the prime hours. And then if you keep waiting, then at 6 hours, we drop the prices by 2 more cents. So we go down to 96 cents a mile. And then we keep dropping the rates until we book you. So, it's not a dramatic drop. We don't go from $1 a mile to 60 cents a mile. We want to keep the price as high as we can, but we are constantly, gradually bringing the prices down until we get one.
Before, yeah.
Exactly.
Does everyone
and
understand how that PIT discounts or PIT discounts works? Does anyone have any questions? What do you guys think of that idea or that strategy? Do you guys understand what we're trying to do with it? Do you have any feedback?
Can I say something?
Oh, Joe, you can always say whatever's on your beautiful mind.
I think that program, I think it looks good, and because it doesn't make any sense to be somewhere for 2 days and finally you get a load for 80 cents or 70 cents. If the dispatch can, after a period of time, can call the driver, I say, okay, now most loads are coming and the bidding, you cannot get a load, and can we reduce the price so that I move? I think I prefer than to be there for 2 days and finally you get a load for 70 something cents. If the first day they reduce it to something cents and you move out of that place to an area whereby you compensate for that difference, I think it's okay. To me.
Yeah. Thank you for the feedback. I agree.
One thing to keep in mind is if we're in a location, in one particular place, and we waited 2 days, the reason why we're going down with the price is right there. We couldn't book you out of that place for 2 days. Now, there may be scenarios where other restrictions play their role and you got to go to a specific destination or you have a specific radius or something. But if that's not the case, there is a reason why we couldn't book you out of that location for 2 days. So that means our regular pricing is not working. We're not getting the load opportunity. So as your waiting time increases, the concept of PIT suggests that we should bid lower and we should lower our price in order until we find the load to get you out of there. Now, I think part of your feedback perhaps suggests that we could go in direction of offering custom option of how much we can discount the rate.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, in case like a driver, you find yourself in the area where BH has 4 or 5 drivers there in the same area, how does it go?
We look at good question. We look at last month's on-time performance rating.
Oh, okay.
The drivers with the best on-time performance rating have the first chance to get booked. If there's 2 drivers with 5-star on-time performance for last month, then we look at which one has been waiting longer. If one has been waiting for 4 hours and the other one for 1 hour, then we give the one that's been waiting longer. Or if Naim has been waiting for a record-breaking 9 days and someone else has been waiting for 2 hours, we give Naim the load.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just want to know because sometimes you see BH is bidding the load and maybe you'll be in the area, but you think, oh, BH didn't call me. Maybe there's another driver there who has been there a long time. Maybe they've gotten that load, but he will get that load. Because you know we all see the loads, yeah. So
but just remember too, we win 10% of loads we bid on. That means that if we bid 10 loads, we win one. You know,
Okay.
so just because we're bidding on a load doesn't mean, you know, that we got that load.
Okay.
Good question, though. It's very important for you guys to understand how these things work behind the scenes.
Yeah. And okay, I also want to say, you know, if you look at the map, there are some areas where they have like hills and valleys, especially on the because I don't go to California, so let me talk about the east side, like North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, those places. Like driving there, you have to pay more attention. So like I was thinking, like if you guys book a load for us, maybe if you are going like maybe 1,000 miles or maybe 1,002, at least if the driver can get like 6 or 7 hours apart from filling gas, you know, because when you get the time, like your ETA will say maybe 9 a.m. in the morning. But when you fill up gas, it will take you up to 12, and maybe your delivery have to be 1 a.m. So if you can talk to like the companies, they can extend that time on those certain areas, because sometimes driving in that side of the state is a little bit challenging, and driver not need to be rushing and has to be very
Well,
alert.
yeah, I understand what you're saying. I appreciate the feedback. As every driver on this call understands exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you're given a very tight amount of time, and by the time you fuel and use the restroom and get food, you know, that time goes away.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The customer posts a load and they say it picks up at 8 a.m. and it delivers at 5 p.m.
Oh, okay.
If we provide a different time, if we say we need until 7 to deliver, then they just skip over our bid and they
Oh,
use
okay.
one of the 30 bids that can deliver on time. Now,
Okay.
we do only bid if our system shows that it's a realistic time, right?
Okay.
So are you gonna have time to stop and walk around and you know, stop every 100 miles to use the restroom or the gas station or stuff like that? Some loads you're not gonna have that.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, we do our best to navigate around those, and we don't bid on loads where the time is not realistic. We base
Yeah.
our bid on 55 mile per hour average. So that, you know, if
Oh,
you're doing
okay.
most of you are driving 65 or 70, and
Yeah.
our bids are based on 55. That's how we calculate the distances. And then also every 700 miles, we add a 5-hour rest break as well. Or excuse me,
Yeah.
6-hour rest break. You know,
Yeah.
so
6 hours.
there's these things that we do, but I know it doesn't always work out because sometimes there's more traffic than normal, sometimes, you know, but just communicate those things back to us. Let us know if you're dealing with heavy traffic, if they're dealing with anything that's going to prevent you from being on time, and
Yeah.
we'll do our best to, you know, work with you.
Okay.
Okay. A follow-up.
Yes, sir.
Night driving and morning driving. I know there's a lot of challenges seeing driving in the night. And for instance, if 500 miles driving in the night, the same time with that same mileage in the daytime, because I know it's at a certain particular point in night, the driver, you also like to, most of the drivers would like to, let's say, to rest for 2-3 hours. But in the daytime, with that same mileage, you can easily drive in the morning, let's say 6 o'clock in the morning to around 11 p.m. straight, and with some points relaxing. Is there a way that they can, especially when you have the load late in the evening, that you have to drive the whole night, as compared to same load very early in the morning, and then you can easily drive the whole day and drop the load late at 11 p.m. or after midnight? because in the night it's challenging.
Yeah.
You don't
Is there
see
any
far.
drivers on this call who like driving at night? Because we have about half the people like driving at night and half the people hate driving at night. We have some people that say, I want to drive at night as much as possible. There's less traffic. You know, it's everyone is different on this. Is there anyone here that likes driving at night?
If it comes for me, I'll drive, but compared to day driving and night driving, I'll choose more day driving.
Yeah.
The reason is sometimes in the night, you know how this nature is. If you don't have a
Sure.
good sleep in the day,
Sure.
you get sleepy in the night.
Yeah.
So even when I'm driving in the night, especially for me, I'm not talking about anybody. Like when it reaches like 12 midnight up to 1, if I can get like 2 hours to rest in those times, for me to be better than me driving through that
Yeah.
time is very challenging for me.
Yeah, great points, man. And that's why we have the app, you know, for you guys to make the settings. If it's 6 p.m. and you're still available, go in the app, put the maximum direct deliver to 300 miles, and then we're gonna give you a 6-hour break every 300 miles, right?
Okay.
This is where we built the most powerful app that exists in trucking, and we gave it to you guys, and we just need you to use it. And you know, if you don't know how to use it, we're more than happy to provide additional support. We send out videos every day where we explain these things. We make videos that give you a tutorial on how to use the app. A lot of times, you know, people will ignore everything we send out, and then they'll ask questions that are answered, you know, 1,000 times in these resources. So that's what I would say. I mean, like in that case, Fuch, what I would do is at 4 or 5 p.m. I would go in my dispatch settings and I would just put 300 miles maximum direct deliver. And then any load we book, if it's up to 300 miles, it can go direct. And if it's more than 300 miles, we're going to add 6 hours for you to stop and take a break so you don't have to go direct, right? So then that prevents that case where you have an all-night driving load. Or, you know, you can put yourself future available for tomorrow out of service now, you know, but every driver is different, man. We really have some drivers that ask us for as many night loads as possible because they're night birds and they like driving at night and they like that there's no traffic. So it's hard for us to systematically implement something when everyone is different. You know, if we try to add that, if we try to add every single night load, we add some time for break, then the drivers who like those night loads, they would make less money, they would get less loads they like, you know, so that's why we built the app that gives you guys the ability to monitor all these things. And we'll continue to play with it. We'll see if maybe there's some other features we can add in that would just make it easy for kind of one time, you know, for one time dispatch setting for you to turn on that would control this.
Oh, okay.
Another question.
Okay, we'll do one more and then we'll wrap up. Go ahead.
Is there any relationship between the number of drivers you have and keep on hiring drivers and the available loads?
There's about 12,000 loads posted every single day, and we have 70 drivers active. If we had 500 drivers, there would still be enough loads available. If we had 1,000 drivers, there would still be enough loads. The industry has 13,000 loads every single day.
Oh, okay.
Is there any way we can talk to the driver who earns the most if he's available within us today to try to talk to us how he makes that so that we can learn from him or her?
Yeah, we can see on the next meeting if we can get a couple of those drivers to join. But what we're saying is, you know, we're not lying to you guys. When we say this is their dispatch setting, this is how they operate, you know, you can trust us when we're saying that. If you close off 90% of the US and you ignore half the loads that are offered to you, you're not going to make much money. If you respond quickly to load offers or you make more things green, and you have more settings open, you'll make more money. But next meeting, we're going to try to arrange a couple of these high earners to join and provide their feedback.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Can I ask
Alright.
this question? How much is a rate in Las Vegas? Is it a good place to go?
Horrible place, one of the worst. 70 cents
Oh.
per mile at best.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Pretty much.
If you
And a
if you
very,
spend all night praying to God, maybe you can get 75 cents a mile the next day.
Oh, okay.
and there is a
Aldin.
very low loads volume over there.
Aldin, maybe
Yes.
we can ask Rauda to give us a comment on how she looks at a driver settings and everything else. She's in the meeting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of running out of time, so let's put that off
Yes,
till next
hi.
time. Or go ahead, Rauda.
What's the question?
So you have been in top 5, as far as earning numbers go in the
Oh,
last
okay,
couple
that's
of weeks.
nice.
Yeah, we had one driver here ask how to achieve such performance. What kind of dispatch settings do you utilize, and how do you achieve those numbers? That was the question.
I trust the dispatch. I don't argue with whatever they give me. I like it, and just like I know I have trust enough for the 8 years I've been working. It's like the end of the month, I'm gonna be happy with whatever I did or whatever I make. All the
Can I
I
ask
don't
you
know
a question?
if you got me, but it's like I have a trust with my dispatch.
Ida, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
She didn't answer the question.
Is your
ahead.
Texas in green or yellow or red?
Texas,
Yeah.
green.
Oh, okay.
She didn't
Yeah,
answer the
green.
question. Let
And
it tell us
I was
her
when I
setting.
started this month, I was like missing going to Saskatoon. So I was asking God to go to Saskatoon.
Peter, let me
So I
share my
got it.
screen real
And
quick.
now today I'm
Sure.
coming. Huh?
Go ahead, Rauda. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was coming today from Saskatoon.
Oh, okay.
And I was lucky enough to get load from Saskatoon coming back to US to Indiana.
Here's
Red.
Rauda's settings,
I-
guys. If I
Oh.
don't think she cares.
Okay.
Oh, you have Florida green. Wow. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
you notice no.
I keep it for God. It's like
Yeah.
Okay.
I know he's gonna give me
No USA
Yeah.
rate per mile, no Canada rate per mile. No, I mean, it's all pretty open. A lot of
okay.
green, some red, some yellow. Now, like I
Yeah.
keep saying, guys, yellow is not your enemy. Yellow plus ignoring the offers is your enemy.
Yeah.
So if you go yellow, you are half dispatcher, half driver. You have to accept that. If you don't want to be half dispatcher, half driver, then go green. But it's a bad idea to put yellow and then to put my phone away and go nap, and then I wake up and there's 25 loads that I could have booked, and I didn't respond to any.
Yeah.
and
But the
another
other
thing
difference
I
about
do-
Rauda, guys, is when she goes to Florida or Texas, and we book her for 70 cents a mile. In 8 years she's been with us, she's never called us and said, "What the hell are you guys doing? You guys are booking bad loads. This by the time I pay this." We're not saying the 70 cents is a good price. It's a horrible price. It's a criminally low price. The brokers that are asking us to drive for 70 cents should be put in jail. We all agree on this. But
let me tell you something, Aldin. For yesterday load, when you submitted the dispatch submitted that load coming back from Saskatoon, he submitted for 82 cents. So I know it's a weekend and it's gonna be the only one I'm gonna have in Saskatoon. Otherwise, I'm gonna be driving back to Fargo. So I just text the dispatch and told him to go down with the rate so I can be having a load coming back. I'm working weekend, you know?
Yeah.
I don't need to lose my weekend going back to Fargo with nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I had that one to go down with the rate. So tomorrow morning, I'm gonna be making my money back.
Okay. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. So just like keep it open, and it's like another trick I do. I'm available most of the time, but
Yeah.
I really, every minute in my time, if I'm not driving, I'm sleeping. I'm resting.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Even if it's 5 minutes, I will take that 5 minutes sleeping. I don't waste it like here and there. If I'm available to work, I'm resting if I'm not behind the wheel.
I have a question. Are you a person, do you drink coffee or you don't?
I'm sorry?
Do you drink coffee or you don't?
Yeah, I drink coffee. Yes, one
So-
cup in the morning. I have to. I
So,
can't.
how do
But
you
it's
manage
like
your sleep?
only one cup.
Yeah, how do you manage your sleep? Do you have like a sleeping tablet or you just normal, you just go to bed and sleep?
No, I'm good. I sleep right away. I
Yeah.
sleep
okay.
right away.
Do you eat Krispy Kreme donuts?
I'm a diabetic, so I don't eat that much junk food.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep, those are the words of a person that makes those big numbers on a regular basis.
Laugh at himself. He does. Aldine will laugh at himself.
And nice talking to you, all of you.
Thank
Oh.
you, Rauda.
It's
Thank
good
you.
to have you on. It was good to have you on. Thank you.
We're gonna send you the $100 we promised you to say all of that after the call.
Thank you.
Right, guys. It seems like we got no other questions left. Brian, I've seen your text on the chat. I'll reach out to you to help you get started with that.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's pretty much all from us. That's pretty much all from me, your best friend from Europe, from the other side of the planet. Have a great rest of your.
You're going in Bosnia.
Yeah, I'm in Bosnia. So that's pretty much all from us. Thank you for joining. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you all in the next session in April. Thank you for joining. Have a good one.
Stay safe, everyone.